So what is going on, guys? My name is Joe Mills. Welcome back to my channel. Now I've just arrived on my allotment, and what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about sheds, in particular recycled sheds, and what we can do to them to sort of improve them and turn them into really creative spaces on your allotment. Now, sheds don't just need to be somewhere to store old tools. If you have watched a few of my videos, you might have seen that I do like to turn the sheds that I have had into sort of livable spaces with somewhere to cook, somewhere to get out the rain, and just somewhere to basically enjoy the space. So yeah, I will join you after this very short intro. I'm just stepping over loads of pallet wood that's on the floor because I have been very, very busy with my shed over the last 2 days. Now guys, I know that this isn't to everybody's taste, and it's not usually something I would opt to do, and that is of course cladding the front of the shed with pallet wood. Now if all the lengths were straight, I'd be slightly happier because it would mean that I could have sort of staggered each piece. So I could have done a long piece and then a smaller piece and then a medium piece and continued that theme, and it would have looked like, if anyone's familiar with Pinterest, there's many images of internal pallet walls that people are doing, and they just give a bit of character to a blank wall. Now I thought I would do this because it was going to be easier than painting it. It is gloss that the previous chap who had the shed painted it with, and I did attempt to sand it back, and unfortunately underneath the gloss it's slightly rotten, so the paint has actually sort of protected itself, but it hasn't protected the wood behind. So it was basically disintegrating under the weight of my hand and a piece of sandpaper. So I thought to myself, what can I do to improve the overall look of the shed and possibly make it a little bit stronger? Now the slats, I'm not 100% convinced I'm in love with the idea of doing what I've currently done. The fence, if I just get out of the way, is also pallet wood, but that was the straighter wood that I had to hand. And the back of the plot has been designed, or I'm designing it, to have somewhere that's not necessarily work. It's got to have somewhere to sit down, and it's got to have somewhere I can basically tie my dog up, because she's still a puppy and she will destroy not just my plot, but she'll destroy everyone's plot if she's off the lead at the moment. So yeah, I've still got a lot of training to do with her, but because we're in lockdown, the number one thing I wanted to do with my dog was socialise her, but because of coronavirus, that's not possible. So I want to bring her down here as much as possible, just so that she's still outdoors for a longer period of time, because she gets 2 to 4 hours of walks every single day, but she's still full of energy. So, and I want her to be able to go from the seating area to the shed, hence why I wanted it all to tie in. And also I kind of wanted to create a space at the back where it looked not necessarily run down, but it didn't look really sort of smart and tidy. I wanted it to look very rustic and reclaimed, but when you go inside the shed that currently doesn't even have a door, I wanted it to be a really magical space really. So the shed was 100% free. It was actually on my previous plot, and that's now basically all overgrown. This is a picture of what it looks like now. So yeah, rather than let the shed end up like the rest of the plot, I did ask for permission and if I could take it, and they said absolutely, of course you can, if you can use it. So we've got the shed. I've got not much wood. I've got a little bit of pallet wood. My whole allotment has just exploded with offcuts, and we're going to see if we can get it finished today, at least just the front part of it. I mean, the other option I had was to board it basically, or use feather edge, just to sort of give it a clean face and a brand new look really. But this is so far a 100% recycled allotment, apart from the few little sponsored items that you see, including the First Tunnel's mini polytunnel. Everything else has been 100% free. So we're going to keep with that theme. And I do like to recycle. Sometimes I'll recycle alongside buying bits and pieces where you need to. But this year on this brand new plot, I thought, why not just take the challenge and try and do everything on this plot from recycled material for as long as possible, and we'll see how far we can go and what we can achieve. And if ever I do end up spending money on any materials or wood, I will of course update you guys, but there's nothing in the plans at the moment to spend a penny recycling this shed and turning it into something great. So yeah, guys, I have seen so many different sheds online being sort of, you know, transformed into usable spaces, and they look fantastic. So yeah, if this isn't to your taste like it isn't to mine right now, it's kind of got potential. I can see where I'm going with it. Just bear with me, and in the meantime, share the photos of your sheds if you've, you know, got a shed that you've fixed up yourself, or you took on a plot that's got a shed and you've done some work to it, and let me see your ideas. Let everyone see them. You can post them on Facebook at Digging for Dinner, or you can send me them in a message on Instagram at Joe Mills Outdoors. So guys, before I, you know, waffle on anymore, yeah, I'm gonna get my coat off, get my tools out the car, and we're gonna get to work. We'll see what we can do. Right guys, it's only been about 5 minutes since I last spoke to you, but I'm not completely satisfied with how this is going, I'll be honest. And I like to be honest on the channel. I'm not going to say I'm, you know, absolutely thrilled with how it looks if I'm not. So what I'm worried about is water basically getting in behind the slats and in the little gaps between them. And I'm also worried about the fact that I've now pretty much run out of pallets. I do have the entire shed to do. I'm probably not going to do the back, but it makes sense to do the side where the window is and the other side as well, just so that the neighbour next door doesn't have to look at the writing that says Love Shack that the previous guy done on the shed. Each to their own, but it's not my taste at all, as I've said. So I've spoken to a guy who's actually on the same row as me, who just came over and told me that there's a pretty rotten shed that's just been dismantled, and it's all stacked up on a pallet, and if I want it, I can basically go and have a look. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go over now and we're going to take a look at the shed, and we're going to see if there's going to be any usable wood or any slats that I could put over the top of what I've already done here, and possibly just go horizontal and make it look like a, I don't know, a bit more appealing, really. Aesthetically pleasing would be a good touch. I'm going to leave the pallet fence that's just over that way, because I do quite like the pallet fence as it is. So yeah, we'll go over now. We're going to take a quick look and just see if there's anything that's salvageable, and hopefully there will be, and we'll be able to continue cladding, but you know, make it a little bit neater and a little bit more usable when the heavens open. Come on, we're going to have a look. So guys, the jacket is now back on because the weather's on the turn. It's got really cold and I think it's about to rain again. So the idea of getting this cladding essentially on the front of the shed is so that we can direct the rainwater away from it, which is something I don't think I really considered when I first took the approach to clad it with pallets. So yeah, I guess that's what we're going to do now. We're going to see, well, I think we've got enough. We're going to cut these to size and see if it will work, see if they'll split when the nails go through. It's quite brittle wood, but once it's on, it is actually dry, which is a good thing. Once it's on and it rains, it should deflect the water away from the shed, meaning that it will last a lot longer, shall we say. So yeah guys, this is me now. I'm gonna get to work cladding the front of the shed again, and hopefully this will do the job, and we'll have something that's hopefully by the end of it waterproof. So I've got my next piece of wood here, and the reason I'm going from top to bottom is so that I can get a really nice finish at the top, considering that a lot of this wood isn't straight, and then I can have the slightly odd pieces at the bottom. So it makes it a little bit more difficult trying to get them in, but they do go in. If you just give them a little bit of encouragement. I'm only going to go up about 1 centimetre because I've got all the wood back in on here. So what this will mean is that the rain, when it hits the wood, will be able to run off instead of going between the gaps and sitting on top of the pieces of pallet wood that actually protrude outwards. So yeah, I'll just level this up, tack it on, and then continue with the whole face of the shed. So you can just about make out the shed in the background, but what I'm going to do before I walk you round, it's by no means finished, but I do need to have a tidy up because I've made quite a large mess in the process of putting this thing together. So I've just lit a little fire. I'm going to see how much wood I can get burnt in the next hour before the rain comes, and then we'll have a good look at the front of the shed. Right guys, this is what I've managed to achieve in about half a day, really, I'd say. Now I did leave the pallet wood underneath just so it gave me something a bit more solid to sort of hammer a nail through rather than going straight into the actual shed itself. But yeah, I mean, that's what we've achieved so far, guys. The sides are not done and it's still not waterproof yet, but I will get around to doing that before I do the sides, because I'm reluctant to add any more cladding to either side of the wall until I've done the roof, because I might even need to get some felt or something to go over, and then I'd want the cladding to obviously go over the edge of the felt to sort of hold it down so that the wind didn't tear it off. But yeah, I mean, so far it's coming out, you know, not too bad at all. I'm pretty happy with how it looks, to be honest. I just need to build a new door frame inside it, because obviously we've got different levels. We've got the actual shed, and then we've got the pallet wood, and then we've got the cladding. So it's quite chunky, but it will work as a door frame when I can sort of reinforce it. Now guys, as far as the rest of the shed goes, like I said, I'll do both sides simply because the neighbour's going to have to look at the love shack indefinitely if I don't. I'll probably leave the back because it's just not essential. I'm never going to see it, and there's absolutely nobody behind me who is going to see it either. So it would make sense to just concentrate on the door, well, the door frame, then the door that I'm going to need to make, because the door frame is slightly narrower than it was before. And then we're going to have to concentrate on making this a bit more watertight. And then once those jobs are done, it will be a case of kitting this shed out and making it a, you know, a really lovely space to go inside, even, you know, when the sun's out and I need a bit of shade, or you know, the obvious reason would be when it's raining. So yeah, still a lot of work to do, but this is, you know, how I like to do it on an allotment plot. You know, recycling is what it's all about. I mean, it has to be, really, doesn't it? Especially in times like now, really. So use what you've got is the moral of the story. And yeah, stay safe, guys. I will see you in what will probably be a part 2 in the upcycling of the what is now 2 old sheds. And yeah, I'll bring you guys along and we'll basically make a part 2. So yeah, stay safe, guys. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.